So I've been with Vertical Alliance now 6 years here at Grammar. Prior to that, I was with a big box company who's no longer in business. And we used Infinit-I there, and then they swapped to a different platform and weren't using it. So when I actually came to Grammar, I said, hey, we need to get some training, we need some video training, we need to be able to coach these drivers on anything that goes on. So because I had a good relationship with Infinit-I, good relationship with Greg Shipman, we got it in-house. So Greg actually came to Grammar and started Vertical Alliance there back in like 2012 or so.
Yeah,
but it got
long time ago.
but it got no traction.
Yeah.
It got no traction at all. So you have to get buy-in from the top. I mean, our CEO, he's our former CFO, and we got buy-in from the top, and it starts from the top down, and then you got to get your management buy-in. And
So he was CFO to CEO, so he knows the numbers.
he knows and he's a numbers guy. He knows the numbers, so you got to make him see the rate of return there on the investment. And I will tell you, I look at our DOT portal every day, either myself or my new safety director, and any violation we get at all, we assign a class. So I'm actually gonna take all of our violations, all of the codes, and now we're gonna build templates for every single code out there, and we're gonna be, as soon as the driver gets it, boom, we're gonna assign it. The cool thing I like about it is custom content. You know, we do custom content, I do quite a bit of it. And once you do it, you can set it up to go into the resource tab. So, let's see if I can get to it. So this was our December training. If it'll play. A little buffering. But I do this with Zoom. I set my camera up, I turn it on Zoom. It's like almost like the weather, man. I don't know why our buffering's not
I
playing.
don't know either.
There it goes.
Did it start playing?
Looks like it's loaded.
I think it's gonna go.
But you were talking about insurance and accidents. It's not if you ever go to court or have an accident, it's just when. And I hear a lot in this industry now that most companies are only one accident away from shutting their doors. We had a really bad accident January of 2020. We had a shop explode and injured 3 people severely. And I had not been to that shop yet because it was an acquisition. And I learned more about agencies and acronyms, NTSB, OSHA, PA-OSHA. I had not trained those guys. And the company that we acquired, they had not trained them either. So that just kept adding zeros to the settlement. So you really, really, really got to train. I put 100% pass rate on all of my training. They said, why do you put 100% pass rate on it? Well, if a driver takes one of the video courses or one of the training courses and they don't pass, they have to go back and watch it again until they can pass the test. That's my review process with that driver. I'm not there with the driver, so I can't make sure that he understands what he read. So, but if he or sees, but if he goes back and does it 2 or 3 different times, and you get 100% pass rate, that's the review process. Also, be careful on your fast forward. When you set up these videos, if you put fast forward on automatically, they're going to just zip right through it. And then when the attorney's sitting across from you, he says, how did he watch this 2.5-minute video in 5 seconds? But if you got the first attempt, the full length, and then they go back and fast forward to get back to the quiz again and answer the questions, then that's a review.
You got all clear.
All clear. So,
Go
there we
to
go.
your library and pull them up.
Hello everyone, today I'd like to talk to you about electronic logging devices.
I'm trying to mute out.
There's a few things you must have with electronic logging device. Number one, you must have.
So I just set that up. That was set up in one of my rooms. I put a green screen up, had a Zoom, Kinda like a weatherman in the background. The green screen cost me about $200 for all the green screen, all the lights that came with it. When you could go to Amazon, type in green screen, it came with a nice carrying case in a bag, so. And what the green screen does is just like a newscaster. It cuts any shadow out of the back of it. You can play with the lights, get them all set up, but I've now brought all of that to the office and got it set up there. A lot of drivers commented. They said, man, we're glad to see somebody instead of just a canned video. You know, nothing wrong with canned
No,
videos.
nothing wrong with it.
We do our part of our orientation. We've cut it down to 2.5 days instead of 3.5 or 4 days, because all of the basic stuff, we have an orientation template made. As soon as the recruiters set somebody up for orientation, we go ahead and assign it. Now, HR gets a little touchy about it. HR says you can't have an employee doing work before they come to you. So we let them know, hey, we're gonna set you up, you're gonna get an email. It's not a requirement that you get this done prior to coming to orientation, but if you do, you're gonna be that much ahead. And 99% of our people are done before they ever sit down in the seat.
There you go.
So that has really cut that. So we do the basics, you know, the hours of service, the truckers against trafficking, the tank truck rollover video that's required for them to watch. So all of that's just the basic stuff. But I was able to get ELD training out to the drivers. Took me maybe 15 minutes to shoot that whole video from the time I set it up till the time I got through.
So you did all this through Zoom?
Did all this through Zoom.
Yeah.
Because if you're recording through Zoom, standing in front of the camera recording, I set it way back. When you stop recording, you can save it as an MP4.
Awesome.
So it just saves as a video file.
And if I remember, Zoom would even creates a transcript
It does.
of what's been said too,
Yep.
so you have a written piece of it.
So we've done that one, and we have has anybody heard of speed gauge? Anybody heard of speed gauge?
Yep.
So we've got a speed gauge program. And my goal is, of course, 0 speeding, but I've got our speed gauge set at 6 miles per hour over the posted speed limit. So it starts registering when a person is 6 or more over the posted. When I first started tracking this, we were more than 20% of the time as a fleet 6 or more over the posted. So I've got it set up red light, green light, yellow light. We're now at 2.5% of our fleet is 6 or more over the posted. I've got one guy watches logs, and that same guy watches the little dots.
Yeah.
And it's real time. If it hits 15 miles per hour, he's calling them.
Yeah.
I put the speed gauge policy out, and it's brought it down. So I'm reducing the risk. You ask, can you measure risk? Absolutely, you can measure risk. We do about 50 million miles a year, our fleet. Matter of fact, I was pretty proud. We were grand champions for the NTTC tank truck driver. For the Heil Trophy, we were in the running for it. Of course, we didn't get it, but just to be on stage with the 7 other companies
That's fantastic.
was saying something to us. But we average one DOT recordable about every 12 million miles. So I'm looking at it thinking, okay, well, we're about due for one. And over the past 12 months, the statistics speak for themselves. So, I mean, you know, it pretty much, sometimes we have one, sometimes we have 2, but statistically, here's about the time we're gonna have one, so. And that attorney was in deposition with me. That same attorney that defended Werner. She was in a deposition with me. She said it was a slam dunk. We didn't think, she said, we walked out of there with our mouths hanging open like, what the heck? So those are the cases that you don't really want to go to court because you don't know. She told me they spent 2 weeks talking about how bad Werner was in their programs before they ever talked about the accident. 2 weeks. So you need the training, the documentation, and Vertical Alliance.
This year, it has been truck stops. I can't get out of a truck stop. I can't have drivers park in a truck stop.
Yeah.
We have gotten ran over in truck stops.
Yeah,
Probably 60% of my accidents
A
this
lot of
year.
it happened there.
Yeah,
I mean, $15,000, $20,000 worth of damage done at a truck stop. A
Yeah,
lot.
it's crazy.
And now you're actually getting, you know, some officers don't wanna come to truck stops and do reports, but now they'll come out there because they're looking for somebody that's leaving the scene of the accident.
Yep.
Oh, yeah,
that's a
I think
big
they got a
thing.
criminal case.
Yeah.
You were asking me about locations, there's our locations there on the map, where we're dotted. A little bit everywhere.
1 minute. Data queue. You use data queue?
Absolutely.
How's that work for you?
I've used a lot of camera footage on data queues. I tee it up for the officer. I tell them, here's why I think it's wrong. Here's the regulation that says it's correct. Here's the video, here's whatever. I tee it up so that all they gotta do, I send them all the
Frame it.
information. I frame it. And I go about it as if I were in a courtroom. With all due respect, I request this be removed because, and then I paint my picture, and then at the last closing, thank you for all your consideration in this matter. We have companies out there that are data queuing every single violation they get, every one. They got people that sit there and that's all they do, every single violation. I feel like, this is just George, I feel like you lose credibility. Because when that data queue goes across that officer's desk and it's a speed warning, it'll prove you weren't speeding. But when they see one come across from Grammar, they look at it and say, oh, I don't see many from him. Because otherwise,
Let's take a look at it.
yeah, let's take a look. Otherwise, you're seeing that, oh, hell, it's this one again. Trash. But data queue, great thing.
You get a lot of favorable.
I'm probably
Reversals.
95% reversals. Because I'm not gonna data queue it unless I know I can win
You're
it.
picking your battles.
Pick them out.
Yeah.
That's very good.
I tell the driver, I can't win this, so why am I gonna do it?
I went back 18 months in data queue.
Yeah,
And
it stays on
changed
our record for
Yeah.
24.
Change your
It
scores.
changed our score dramatically.
Also, look at your accidents, data queue your accidents. If you got cameras and it fits in that crash preventability program, data queue it, put camera footage with it,
And what's your driver turnover rate?
25% turnover rate, 75% retention.
Well.
So, and again, the first 2 years I was here, 2015, 2016, we were 100% retention. We didn't term anybody. And now we've over doubled in size. We had been up to 560 drivers. We sold off a dry bulk division because that wasn't our cup of tea. Our cup of tea was bulk chemicals, not sand and concrete. So now we're down to about 400. Well, thanks, everybody. If you haven't got any more questions, if you have more questions, I'll be at dinner tonight with you.
I'm gonna pick your brain when you get it.